So I think we're living in a time when young Black athletes, for example, because I'm following Shador Sanders, and professionals and entertainers and politicians are showing up fully themselves right now. It's kind of scary watching them actually take center stage in sports, for example, that they typically we were not in.
Was not allowed.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
But they're not shrinking, Mona. They're not shrinking. They're not even apologizing for their talent. And they're not performing to make white spaces feel comfortable. They're performing to win, and to really exert the talent that we have. I mean, they prepared for the moment, and they don't shrink away from it. So, but what's the reward for all of that? They get ridiculed. You've heard about it on the tennis circuit with Taylor Townsend.
Mhm.
They get resistance. We're seeing that definitely with Shador Sanders, and in some cases they get removed altogether. And we have to pay attention that the fight is really still here. So I've been following Coco Gauff, and I know that you follow tennis a great deal. In fact, you go to tennis matches, U.S.
I love
Open, and I'm definitely following Shador Sanders because that's just an enigma to me. I cannot understand how somebody as great as he is in terms of his performance being on a national stage, international, because they were just in I think London, being put to the bottom. He's not being recognized for the greatness that he has. So they are two of the clearest examples, in my opinion, of this shift that we're seeing, that our children are rising to the occasion, and yet they're being met with so much resistance. And this is how America still reacts to Black excellence. We talk about Black excellence, but really, what happens to our kids or us when we go into traditionally white spaces and refuse to assimilate? What happens to us? That's the question.
So I could do a little parallel here, because when you look at Serena Williams, and I'll just go back to Serena Williams and Shador Sanders, they would have been more accepted if they didn't have phenomenal parents. If they didn't have parents who already told them who they were, who didn't need approval from said white society, right? So when Serena Williams came on to those courts, they already knew they were great. They already knew, and they believed it. I never forget the interview that Venus Williams did with somebody on 60 Minutes. I can't remember which one. And the guy, he just kept badgering her. He kept asking her, well, how do you know you're going to win the and she says, because I believe, I know who I am.
I love that. I love that.
Her father stopped the interview like, hey, you're badgering her. She's already. He wanted to break her, and she couldn't be broke. And it's the same thing with Coco Gauff, or either Shador Sanders. These kids already know that they are great, even though
they were brought up that way. They were brought up and
it was installed in them from the beginning.
Right.
And they don't need validation from the greater society.
They don't.